press record first.
Oh.
Here we go.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to your tarot journey. This is Sabrina.
It's Katarina.
So we already posted this
Yeah.
last Saturday, but to our dismay, there was no sound, which is so annoying. But I always say there must be something from the universe saying maybe there was something there that it didn't need to be aired, or perhaps whatever it is.
Maybe we just fucked up.
Yeah,
Just
maybe
needs it again.
all these retrogrades that everybody talks about. It's actually for real. But here we are again, and we're just going to talk to you a little bit about what we're going to be doing starting May 4th. May the 4th be with you. For 21 episodes, we're going to interpret the Fool's Journey.
Basically, the Major Arcanas.
The Major Arcana of the Tarot.
Yeah, because we are both tarot readers, and we both have our own interpretation, and then we have our own designs, and we use them in specific and particular ways, which we're going to talk about today. In the prequel, we're just going to talk about the design. What is it? How does it differ from the Oracle cards? How you can use it? And yeah, just our experiences
Just a little,
it. Yeah, exactly. So this is for anybody. Basically, the mini series is going to be for anybody who wanted to dive in a little deeper and have two very unique perspectives and just learn. And we might even throw in different ways of how to use it and how you can apply it to your everyday life. So stay tuned, May 4th. But until then, yes.
Yeah. So tarot, I feel like tarot has become it's almost a little bit mainstream now.
Yeah,
you see tarot everywhere. Like, oh, I'm going to go see a tarot reader. And it's okay.
Pandemic, I find.
Yeah, I guess everybody locked in and they're like, okay, I need answers. We need to find guidance.
Yeah.
So I love tarot because I'm not to label myself, but I'm a writer. I have been since I'm 13 years old. Thank you. And to me, tarot is storytelling. So like I see the high priestess, let's say, and I have a story about her. Like I know her character. I know her already, that she's very a little bit reserved. If you know the tarot interpretation from the book, you can read the book. Like how I learned tarot was by the
descriptions.
Yes, I took a course actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and to just learn the whole basics, the wands, is spirituality kind of thing, right? And the Ace of Swords is mental energy, and the Pentacles is physical energy, and the Cup is emotional energy. So it's like right. Water, fire, all the elements kind of thing. And when I started learning it, I felt like it was too limited for me. I needed to bring in everything. So I brought astrology into it. I had, for me, Sabrina, as a tarot reader, I bring in all kinds of different elements within the reading, because that makes a bigger story. And when I talk to my peeps, my followers, or my clients, there's a story. I'm always like I said in the last video, I have some clients that when I pull out the Empress, we're like, oh my God, that's you. Like it's always her, and I pull out the Emperor, and it's like, oh, it's this person in your life. And it continuously shows up. Now it's become her story. So it's like, oh, then the Emperor, we can't even unsee it because it's this person and that person. And that's the beauty of tarot, but you could take it so many levels, right? She does it in a different way than I do, right?
When I started tarot, I was introduced at a very young age by my mom, because she was always into I want to say the woo-woo. She's a Pisces, a true Pisces, which is tapped in to everything in the ethereal, and stones. Tarot was always her element. But I only really dived in high school, but truly dived in when I was at my lowest of the low, where I was in my dark hole and needed a way out. And my sister had brought in an oracle deck. And I'm going to actually just the difference between an oracle deck and a tarot deck is the structure. So tarot is very structured. They have the major arcana and the minor arcana, and then the minor is subcategorized in 4 categories. She just showed them, and they're the mental state, emotional state, physical state, and the spiritual. And they all have elements. And we can get into that. But for me, it was, and then oracles is a little more unstructured. So it's a little more based on the artist, on the author, and there's just a description. So you have the card, it invokes something, and then you have description that might invoke something else. So for me, it was always a tool to put into words what I couldn't put into words for myself at that moment. So I'd always pull a card to see like, hey, what's going on? I feel heavy, I feel sadness, I feel all these things, but I could never put into words of what was going on. And it was a very, very key element in my healing journey. I'll call it healing journey right now. I would think it's more like a remembrance, my remembering journey. So for me, when I started, it was a lot more intuitive. So I've always told, I mean, we're tarot card readers, but we're also teachers in the arts, because a lot of people come up to us and say, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? So for me, when I have somebody asking me about tarot, I always say, don't ever look at the descriptions first. Always go with the intuitive hit. Pick up a card, ask a question, usually open-ended, because they don't work with
yes, no.
Yes, no. You can work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said,
It's boring.
To me, it's a dialogue. As much as it's a story, which I
Mm-hmm.
love that you use it like that. For me, it's always been a dialogue. You're having a conversation with these cards, and these are just cards that are able to tap into your energy and therefore translate it into these beautiful card depictions of specific symbols. And that's the beauty. Every symbol is going to be different from everybody, and that's why I find it's beautiful to have all these tarot card readers now, because they all have an element, and every reader is not going to be for everybody as well.
Mm-hmm.
Every reader is going to be specific to somebody else needs at that moment. So for me, I've always said, don't look at the description. Pick up a card. What is invoke? What is it trying to tell you? And then incorporate the description and see how it ties in. But to me, tarot has always been a way of tapping into your intuition, your intuitive
because
feel.
it's all like imagery, symbolism, right? Like also the Rider-Waite. I'm showing you the original tarot deck. I mean, from what we know, and this is like everyone uses the same. And there's like a book on just the symbols. Right?
Yeah.
Like more than just the interpretation of the card, right? The sword, the victory, the crown, the cloud, the hand, the mountain, everything. Why is it here? Like that. And it's just like, it could invoke something completely different in me than it does in her. And someone could be asking us like, what career do you think I am? And I could say, oh, well, acupuncture, because I see the sword, right? And she could say, well, a sword fighter, right? Because that's what she sees. But also it's like, it's a little deeper than that, because it's the energy of the person. And the card. And that it's not just, that's why it can't just be an interpretation of a card, because you're reading the person's energy with the card. It's not just like, well, the Ace of Swords is new communication and better and more travel, you know? It's like, it's your art of listening and your art of energy work with the client in front of you, with the friend that's in front of you, with the barista that's asking you a question, with the tarot. It doesn't matter who it is, because that exchange of energy has just begun. And this is just a resource, a tool.
Yeah, exactly. They're all just
to
tools.
Like translate what we're trying to tell you. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I find really fun is that you can look at a card and you're reading it for somebody. And mind you always have to have permission to read somebody's energy. That's the whole point of free will. You can't just go and say, well, what is this person thinking? Because you're kind of going against their free will. If they don't really want you to know, well, then that could backfire, energetically speaking. But that's a whole other conversation for later. But what's fun is that when you're reading a card for somebody, if you really tap into your intuition, there's things that you probably would have never noticed on the card until this person asked this question. And that's where the diving deeper into your intuition and seeing what really is the storyline. So if you take, for example, the Ace of Cups, it usually represents an overflow of emotions, a new beginning. Number ones is new beginning. But if somebody's asking a specific question, you might notice the little cross over here, and that cross might invoke something within you that is very essential to the description or the answering of the question of this person, what she needs at this very moment. Right?
Exactly. And that's really interesting you say that, because sometimes, let's say, I'll just take out these Cups because I noticed something. the Ace of Cups, you see like it's like, oh, it's beautiful overflow of abundance but also there's raindrops coming from that. So I could see the Ace of Cups in this situation and say, well, it's going to be a sad moment for you, where most people would be like, no, Ace of Cups is but that's like expanding a little bit further. And also that exchange of energy, right?
And the conversation with your cards.
I love it.
Because you're having a conversation with the cards. The cards are trying to tell you something. So never doubt that. I feel like it's a great tool to deepen your trust in yourself. Deepen your trust in yourself, deepen your trust in what the universe is offering you, in your capabilities. And if there's stuff that are being invoked, is to pay attention to that and be like, oh, why is this doubt coming in within me? What do I still have to learn about all this? But
that's a huge thing that you just said, because this is like a number one, like I would say, blockage for beginner tarot readers is not to trust that initial instinct, because you see the Ace of Wands and you say, like, I'm going to put a random card. Okay. That's tarot reading. And it's the 10 of Wands, right? The 10 of Wands is like, the traditional meaning is unexpected burdens, like you're carrying burdens. But this could be a lot of things. Could be like, I'm pushing forward, like I'm going against the grain, I'm pushing forward, I'm going to win kind of thing. It could be so many things. And I just lost my trend.
You're talking about trust.
Yes, trust your intuition. Yeah. So sometimes I see this and like, I feel like it's a winning card and I won't say it. Like now I do. But when I first started tarot, I would be like, what is the message? I'm getting a different message from the interpretation of the card.
And this is why
and then I'd be like, oh, no, that's wrong. So I didn't say it. And then I would go, and then the next day, let's say they'd call me and they said, this happened. I said, I should have said it because it, so just trust the message, because really tarot is just a tool, but you know everything already. You don't need tarot.
No.
It's just a tool to get you to trusting yourself, your knowing.
Yeah, 100%. And I love how you say, especially for new tarot readers, because we still have all of this old information, like the clearing out the vessel, like we were talking about on Wednesday. If you want to hear, it's called The Art of Nothing. And we were saying how, because we read all these descriptions, we look at all of these information, and then we fill up our bodies, our minds, our souls with all this information, that we're actually distracted by our intuition. Like we can't hear what our intuition is trying to say. And then especially newbies, like people just coming into, or anything, even energy work, even Reiki. My background was Reiki, and even Reiki, the amounts of times that I've doubted myself. And then when I had the courage to actually speak up and be like, yo, I felt this. And like, that's exactly what that person needed to hear at that very moment. There's a reason why people are coming to you. There's a reason why you're drawn to specific tarot decks and specific artists, because they're going to talk to your soul differently. And it's just to trust that intuition, right? And even if it doesn't go the way you expected, there was something to learn there, right? So,
and also like when you get that information, that you get these intuitive hits that come in and they have nothing to do with the cards in front of you, I would say, still say it to the person, even though it you know what, 3 times out of 10, sometimes they don't like to hear what you got to say, but you got to like stick to your guns and trust yourself, even if it feels uncomfortable. And especially if it feels uncomfortable, then you know that something needs to be said, right? You're not here to appease to people. You're a guidance counselor, right? You're here
just
to guide them. So it's not about like, oh, everything's going to be okay and don't worry. Like, it's,
sometimes you have to say the hard truth. Yeah. So people can learn their lessons. Yeah. You're actually doing.
And if they walk on, they hate you. To me, it's like, oh, I mean, that means I triggered something in her, so it's okay, right? They have to be okay with it.
You have to be okay with being the bad guy in certain people's stories, because you're actually doing them a disfavor if you're just telling them what they want to hear. Yeah. Because if you keep telling them what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear, well, then they're going to keep in that vicious cycle and loops that they came to you in the first place to probably break, if you're into actually doing this as a living, right? So, and that could be very, you know, it could be very not triggering, but uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's okay. It's okay. It's part of the process, part of your journey into releasing the uncomfortable feelings.
And you can work with tarot, and you can bring in oracle cards. You can work with, like there's people who use runes and they use coins. I used to use coins sometimes. I've done some fun pick a cards with that. You can use anything you want, really.
You can even create
Because
your
at
own
the end
tarot
of it,
cards.
because which we will do one day. But eventually it's because it's just a tool.
Yeah.
But it's the tool to your inner knowing.
Mhm.
It's the expression of your inner knowing because you know already.
And it's not a question to
It's just to help.
to depend on them either, right? We have a tendency of depending on these tarot cards because we still don't trust ourselves enough. Oh, what does the cards say, right? Me and my sister, we do it all the time. So let's see what the cards have to say. But it's like you already know. You don't need to depend and ask. It's fun. You can use it as fun too. Just something else I wanted to say, and I forgot. What did I want to say again? In regards to the tools, in regards
Oracle.
to... Oh yeah, I was just gonna add on to basically you can make your own tarot cards. And I had a friend that she was gifted these little cards with little daily affirmations or little tools of like, oh, go do this today, go do that. And she would just pick from there.
Mhm.
And it was just her way of tapping into her intuition at that moment by just creating her own cards with whatever came to her mind and then just picking one and seeing what that card has to say. So anyways,
Like the magic 8-ball.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, yes, go. Okay. You know, and it's just energy, right?
Yeah.
It's all energy. It's all energy. And it's like believing and trusting and having fun with it. At the end of the day, if you want to start tarot, or you're in the middle of tarot, you're already a tarot reader. Like we're not like, again, like she said, there's so many tarot readers out there, but everyone is reading it differently. I can watch like 10 tarot readers on YouTube and it's like, oh, completely different take on each of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that you needed to hear right now. So it's fun.
I like that. I also love that there's different perspectives out there, which is...
And I was going to just show you, like, I was going to do this is my like oracle card. See, I did it according to my book, Honor the Feminine. And I don't even know what it says, this card.
Fire and ice,
No. Oh, the dragon. No, time to fly. It's a dragon. Anyways, it's according to my book, which is I Am You, You Are Me. Anyway, I did my own oracle deck and I wrote a whole bunch of stuff. What is it? So anyone can do anything at this point. It's like whatever feels inside you. And all of these are like imagery for tarot readers. I just feel like it's just such an expansive
way
of teaching method.
It's also a self-expression too.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great way. Like I see a lot of you in these cards, which I find very important. And a lot of you in the book, if you haven't read it, it is beautiful and really, really nice. And I feel like it's going to activate a lot of codes, but the tarot card is a way for you to, it's just another tool to help you know who you are.
Right? Yeah. It's a stepping stone.
That's it.
To learning your knowing.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Let us know where you are on your journey.
Yeah,
I think tarot, right? Like, you know, what?
I'm just reading our notes and see if there's anything else.
Reading information. Like, no, we last time we talked about the devil's work.
We were talking about how, well, you talked a little bit. You touched it on in the beginning about how it was deemed very, very, very like a cult.
Yeah, it's okay. Right? That's just again the polarity of the world, and they have to see. You know, it's like putting too much faith. Like it's not like, for me, tarot reading is not the end all and be all. It's a stepping stone. I always say that to my clients anyways. It's like a path. And at the end, I could tell you where your path is going in this very moment in time, but you ultimately choose your path. Right?
It could change the next day because you decided to do something differently, right?
And it's okay.
Yeah. Or else, what's the whole point of this world?
Right? Exactly.
You can't change your faith, right? But yeah, I think that's good.
I think that's good.
We're excited for this mini series, and we're excited to see you all there on May 4th.
May 4th, we start with the Fool.
Yes.
Which is us on this Fool's journey.
Which is the beginning. Which is
the beginning. We start with the Fool, and then we'll end with the World.
Yeah. Actually, that's one thing I will add too, that the tarot card, the Major Arcana is a cycle that everybody goes to, and the Minor Arcanas are really just small, also events, but smaller events.
Like the Major Arcana is your major life lessons in your life, like the Fool,
which everybody goes through.
The Fool goes on this journey to find his purpose, and he rids of everything, all his material possessions, whatever. He just ends with a little like backpack, which you can't see here, over here, and he brings his little dog with him, right?
A little
his
baby
companion.
Like you just birthed it into
And
the
then
world.
he moves and he meets the magician, and he meets the high priestess, and he meets the empress, the emperor,
Yeah.
the hierophant, the lover, the devil, the star. He meets all of these things, and he learns all these big lessons.
And they're all within him, right?
Yes, they're all mirrors. And then here are these little things that he meets. He like the
Little
Seven of Wands. I
challenges.
have to learn to have faith in myself, you know. And then the Eight of Wands, and yes, like
Communications and even having faith and
kind of
taking
thing.
action, fast action,
So
and
that there are little things within.
the major cycles that we all absolutely go through. Every single one. And we always go to multiple cycles. Once we end the cycle with the world card, we come back to the Fool card, because that means we're starting a new journey, a new path, a new, it's like we're entering a new journey towards like letting go of the old self, which was the old journey, the old cycle, the old major cycle. And then you're entering a new one that's basically bringing you closer to, I don't want to say enlightened or a better version of self. It's just something new. Like it's like you end with the world to start back as a fool.
Yeah, and the Fool is actually, you're going through your version right now. You're going through your version right now, which is what we're doing. We're clearing our versions. We're confronting our parents, Emperor and the Empress. We're confronting our husband, our partners, our
old
wives,
programmings. Yeah.
And then you get to the world, and you're like, I get it.
It's like I get it.
I'm
now.
ready to go back to neutral.
I'm ready to go back to neutral, back
To
to
start over into the new.
which is like the nothing that we're talking about episode.
Anyways, this is good.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. We'll see you May 4th
4th
for the Fool. And
on your birthday, isn't it?
it's on my birthday.
Yeah. We're gonna start that series May 4th.
Yep.
Looking forward.
Love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.